Hello and welcome to the first of the last episodes of the Marvel build-up movie reviews. And in today's episode, we're going to do Avengers. So yes, we've got Avengers 1, Avengers Age of Ultron, and the Avengers Infinity War Part 1 and Part 2, what's expected of it. And they will be in the later episodes. But today's episode is on Avengers. We are going for a new approach on my episodes. We're going for a more edited structure with more fancy, more oomph, because my current episodes have been pretty dry, apart from the team-ups, which are quite hilarious. So this episode is the first of the oomph episodes. So I hope you enjoy the tiny bits of edits and audio clippets that I put around the episode, and just like and comment if you like it below, and see what I can do to improve it. So, let's talk about the Avengers. In the Marvel's Avengers movie, which runs for 2 hours and 24 minutes, we have characters such as Iron Man, Captain America, Hawkeye, Thor, Black Widow, the Hulk. All these members that have been all scattered, they've had all their own movies in the Phase 1 of Marvel Cinematic Universe, and they've all been put together into this movie, The Avengers. So, let's kick off the Avengers movie with what me and other people that I've interviewed like about this movie. Let's start off with my opinion, and then we'll add the audio clippets of my interviews in after this clip. So, Avengers. Possibly one of the best Marvel movies, in the cinematic universe in Phase 1. It was definitely one of the best. I mean, I like the Iron Mans. Iron Man 2 wasn't so great. I think it was definitely the best Marvel movie in the cinematic universe, Phase 1. So yeah, it was really interesting. You've got all the action. You've got the first ever come together of any Avengers, because they've never even done two Avengers coming together in the Phase 1. Phase 2 and Phase 3 they do, but this is the first grouping of them. You see a few agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and people. Actually, wait, Iron Man and Black Widow meet, but they don't really know each other. But she's kind of a agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. rather than an Avenger at the time, so that's the only sort of linkage. But no, they've never met before, and it was a really, really interesting. You got some fight scenes and some really dramatic scenes that kind of show you they're a team. For instance, the last scene of the Avengers movie, or the last scenes, you've got a massive, spoiler alert by the way, you've got a massive fight in New York City, and you've got all the aliens coming down from that wormhole in space type thing, or the portal built from the Tesseract that beams up this really cool lasery thing that can't be stopped. It's got a shield, but then can be stopped with Loki's scepter, and then the aliens all die. But that's the end of the scene. You've got all the Avengers going this little circle thing, which is really, really it's just a really cool scene. And you've got, for instance, Thor whirling his hammer and looking out. You got Iron Man with his hands. You got Hawkeye with bow and arrow. Black Widow with the guns. Hulk just looking all angry, and it's a really interesting scene. This is one of those scenes where Marvel has just put out to the audience, and they basically said, right, we've got all these contrasting characters that are completely different from each other, and we can make them into a unit, one being. So that in this scene of them all fighting in New York, as the small clip has just shown you, they're all working together as a unit. During the film, however, this wasn't always the case. They've got quite a few argument scenes where the tension's really, really high, and you've got the evil villain Loki who's trying to make them turn against each other so that they would basically kill themselves, and then Loki can escape within all the madness, which eventually he does, and the Hulk tears part of the big heli character thing that's all floating in the sky, which I will show you a clip of in a minute. But yeah, they've got an awful lot of tension between all the Avengers in this movie.
It's called the Avengers Initiative.
I thought I didn't qualify.
Apparently, I'm volatile and don't play well with others. No hard feelings, Point Break. You got a mean swing.
The thing about the Avengers is it's a story of people who really have no business being in the same movie. Sort of the glory of the Avengers is the dissonance you get between the Hulk and Thor and Captain America and Iron Man and Black Widow and Hawkeye.
I don't think there's anybody that Tony doesn't have some sort of bias of.
Big man in suit armor. Take that away. What are you?
Genius, billionaire, playboy, philanthropist.
And you have all of these different egos trying to come together to serve something greater than himself.
Dr. Banner, your work is unparalleled, and I'm a huge fan of the way you lose control and turn into an enormous green rage monster.
Thanks.
So there's the definite tension behind all the characters in this movie, and towards the end they come together, and it's just that, wow, they've done it. And this is the first movie in the trilogy of the Avengers. You got Avengers, this one. You got Avengers: Age of Ultron and Avengers: Infinity War, and there's going to be two parts to that movie, part 1 and part 2. And this movie this is the last movie that joins together all the Phase 1 movies. I think they've done really well of getting all these different characters. For instance, you got like Thor, who is, well, God. He's a demigod who's come from a different planet, and then you got Iron Man, who's just a very rich genius from Earth. And before this movie, they didn't really know much about the aliens, and then Thor came into the Avengers searching for Loki, and then all the aliens came down from space and all sorts. So this is the first sort of introduction to the Marvel series of aliens. I mean, in the DC movies, they've had a lot of aliens. They've had, obviously, like Superman and so on and so on. But no one really... Well, DC have got a few good movies. But comparing Marvel's worst movie to DC's best movie, I think it's the same sort of level. I mean, they called Superman Man of Steel a good movie. And that's a good movie for DC. And if you compare it to Marvel, it's just... I mean, Marvel's actually got a storyline and they link. I mean, you've got stuff like Justice League, which is coming out soon, is sort of like the Avengers version for DC. So that might be interesting. The plotline for this story is you have the Tesseract, which is the blue box that S.H.I.E.L.D. currently holds in a secure location at S.H.I.E.L.D. facility. Now, this Tesseract came originally from Captain America, and there was a story on that. So it's now in the S.H.I.E.L.D. facility, and then it opened up a portal in the S.H.I.E.L.D. facility, and it almost destroyed the whole... Well, actually, no, it did destroy all of the S.H.I.E.L.D. facility. But out the portal came Loki, which is Thor's brother, and he was introduced in the movie Thor. So then he takes the Tesseract, and he basically wants to make Earth his planet. He wants to rule Earth. And then he made a deal to have the scepter, which has a little gem in it, which he can tap on people to make them their slave type thing. And he got that from the Tatari, who want to give their army of all the aliens to him to invade Earth. And that's basically their barter. So you've got him, and he steals the Tesseract. And he needs the Tesseract to make the portal to get the Tatari army down to Earth to invade. So that's the story. And then the Avengers are called in to get back the Tesseract and stop the massive invasion and to stop Loki. So the idea is, Loki's been planning out his master plan for many, many years now. He got sent away from Asgard, which is, well, was meant to be his kingdom, but Thor took it, because they're brothers. So yeah, he's got this whole plan, and it's working out really fine. And then he gets captured and puts on Avengers heli character. Well, it's S.H.I.E.L.D.'s, but the Avengers use it. And Avengers think, right, well, we've done it. End of. But that was his plan all along. he wants to wind up the Avengers so much they turn against each other and start killing each other, so that they do his job for him, basically.
You're a monster.
Oh no. You pulled the monster.
So, Banner. That's your play.
What?
Loki means to unleash the Hulk. Keep Banner in the lab. I'm on my way. Send Thor as well. Thank you for your cooperation.
So, Loki wanted to release the Hulk to pretty much destroy the heli character, so it fell into the sea and they all died. And then he escaped during the chaos and went on a plane with Hawkeye, who was also there just in case Hulk didn't smash up the plane to blow it up. So Hulk did get angry in the end. There was a big fight and he got angry, and he was actually chasing Black Widow, which was all tension. And then Hawkeye came with his aeroplane, because he's a bad guy now, because Loki touched him with his scepter, which made him all evil and stuff, because he's his slave. So he blew up one of the giant propellers, and then Iron Man had to push it automatically to get it spinning, so the plane, instead of going down into the sea, would stay up. While he was doing that, Hawkeye took Loki to a secret lair, and he escaped the shuttle. So yeah, that's pretty much how he escaped from the heli character. But that's not the only thing that happened on the heli character. There was also a side plot where the government planned to build weaponry out of the Tesseract's energy source to defend the planet from aliens, because Thor came with, on the movie Thor, he came to Earth and bought like an alien being, and if you watch my Thor review you know what I'm talking about, but he bought a being to Earth, and this shocked the world, and it told everyone that aliens were real, and they weren't defending themselves properly. Yes, they've got the Avengers, but if the Avengers weren't there, what have they got? They've got nothing. They've got no first line of defence. So they planned on building weaponry. However, the Avengers strongly disagreed with this, and so did Captain America. Quite rightly so, because in the film Captain America, the Nazis did exactly the same thing with the weaponry. They took the power from the Tesseract, put it in the guns, and Captain America's saying, wait, this is wrong, let's not do this. So this is where Iron Man and Hulk find out there's something going wrong. And then this is obviously a heli character, they're getting notified that they're being hacked by Iron Man. And this all leads down to when Captain America finds the weapons that Hydra once used with the power of the Tesseracts. And this is this image here. That was their old weaponry. I was a bit disappointed with this side plot now, because it didn't really go anywhere. I mean, they had an argument. Actually, wait, thinking about it, it did go somewhere. Captain America had an argument with Fury, saying, this is wrong, you weren't there in World War II, I saw these guns being used, and they did a lot of bad things. This basically threw apart the Avengers, because this was after the battle in the heli carrier, and Hulk had been, is now on the ground. Iron Man and Black Widow and Captain America are left in the air. Thor is now on the ground as well, because he fell out. He was in the prison that his brother trapped him in when he was escaping. So you're left with Black Widow, Captain America, Iron Man, and Fury, and then a couple of other staff as well. But there is an argument, and Avengers at this point seems like it's been split up. Finally, they've had such a bad argument, they're all split up, and this movie is going to end with them not liking each other. But that isn't the case. The government, being the government, feels when Loki goes to New York and then starts building the portal to open up to the aliens, the government feels like they should just nuke New York, so that there'll be no aliens and end the potential war. Fury disagrees, but however, the plane's already on the way to nuke New York. So Iron Man gets sent off to try and maneuver the nuke so it can go into the portal and blow up the aliens from space without affecting New York, which has millions and millions of people in it currently. So this works, but he needs a force to stop the aliens that are already in New York. So the Avengers are called in, and they all come together, and there's an amazing fight scene. But just before this battle happens, Iron Man has a talk with Loki.
What have I to fear? The Avengers. That's what we call ourselves. Sort of like a team. Earth's mightiest heroes type thing.
Yes, I've met them.
Yeah. Takes us a while to get any traction, I'll give you that one. But let's do a head count here. Your brother, the demigod, a super soldier, living legend who kind of lives up to the legend, a man with breathtaking anger management issues, a couple of master assassins, and you, big fella. You've managed to piss off every single one of them.
That was the plan.
Not a great plan. When they come, and they will, they'll come for you.
I have an army.
We have a Hulk.
Oh, I thought the Beast had wandered off.
You're missing the point. There's no...
Iron Man, being his stubborn self, debates with Loki, who is very powerful at the moment, has the scepter, and Iron Man's just walking in there all casually, doesn't have a suit on or anything. I mean, what could go wrong? Well, obviously, something does go wrong, or at least something tries to go wrong.
How will your friends have time for me when they're so busy fighting you? This usually works.
Well, performance issues, it's not uncommon. 1 out of 5.
Hooray! Tony Stark did actually have a plan. But what would have happened if he did get touched by the scepter and he didn't have that metal thing by his heart protecting him? That's the sort of Iron Man thing. But if you've watched the Iron Man movies, you'll know what it is and why he didn't turn evil. But this is what would happen if he did get touched by Loki's scepter. So after Hawkeye's been tapped with this scepter, he goes, like you can see here in this image, his eyes turn blue, and yeah, he obeys all commands, and he can, well, it said he can like hear the Tesseract talking to him, and his power he gets from the Tesseract is knowing who his next target is. During the battle in New York with the Avengers and the Tatari, Hulk gets a hand of Loki, and he does not take it lightly.
Enough! You are all of you beneath me. I am a god, you dull creature, and I will not be bullied by that.
Puny god.
As you can see here, Hulk likes playing with his toys. As you hear Puny God at the end, and him bashing around Loki. It just adds a bit of humour to it. And there's also a scene which I showed you in the Thor review. I showed you a bit of the team up with Thor and Hulk. And obviously they're fighting on the massive Tatari, like fish sort of thing. And they destroy it. And after they've destroyed it, Hulk punches Thor out of the way. Because they've got that sort of relationship together. And I think the Avengers is all about the relationships. You all see these little bits of relationships forming together. And it works. This movie just works. That's what I like about it. It all works, all fits together, and ties up all loose ends that you may have had in the first wave of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So I definitely think The Avengers is a good movie. It's got everything. It's got action, adventure, thrill. It's got a bit of romance in places with Hawkeye and Black Widow. It's everything a Marvel fan could really want. Then you've got the second one, which I'll be reviewing next time, which has a bit more. It adds more. It's the end of the second wave, phase 2, and it just slowly adds some more characters, some more bits and bobs. Like I was saying earlier, the Tesseract in this movie does eventually get destroyed to become an Infinity Stone, and the Infinity Stones are the main bits that tie together in the Infinity War. Avengers Infinity War is going to be all about the Infinity Stones. So look back in my last episodes, I talk a bit about the Infinity Stones. In this one, it was the Tesseract, and then Loki's scepter also had an Infinity Stone in it. It was the blue bit of the scepter that then got transformed into a gold bit, and that happens in Avengers 2 Age of Ultron. So if you haven't watched the film, I'd watch all the Avengers and all the build-up movies to them. And yeah, I recommend you watch them strongly. And also watch my review next time of Age of Ultron, and I'll talk a bit more about the Infinity Stones. I hope you've appreciated the oomph in this episode. If you liked it, like it, obviously, this video, and then comment on what you liked about it and how I can improve my more oomphy episodes. I would really appreciate that. Subscribers, again, can keep on subscribing, because if you watch my videos, you might as well subscribe. You get notifications and stuff if you turn it on. So yeah, like, subscribe, leave a comment, and look out for more videos in the future. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.